Okay, welcome to reading for this week. As you can see in the plan, there's no guided reading, no PM readers this week because there's only 3 days. And I said we just do a nice story from Starlight all together. Okay, so the story this week we are doing is on page 14 and 15. It's Horrid Henry's Underpants. This is one of my favorite stories in the whole book because it's very, very funny. Okay, so before we even start reading, we're going to give a quick look at the pictures so we might be able to predict what it's going to be about, which will help us to read. So, Horrid Henry's Underpants is the title. So I'm guessing it's about a character called Horrid Henry and something to do with his underpants. Oh, there's a picture of a present. So I'm guessing he gets a gift. There's a lovely picture of a lovely pair of frilly underpants down there with a bow and some love hearts. Kind of look like girls' underpants, but I could predict that maybe it's girls' underpants in the present. Again, another gift wrapped in the shape of an underpants. And it says happy birthday. So it must be Horrid Henry's birthday or someone's birthday in the story. Okay, so that's my predictions. I'm guessing now that there's going to be someone's birthday. They get underpants. And something to do with girls' underpants as well. So we're not really sure exactly what happens with the underpants. But let's read to find out. Okay. Before we even start, let's do the new words. Okay, first word is horrified. Horrid Henry horrified his teacher by bringing a mouse to school. She was horrified. What's that? What does the word horrified mean? Disgusted. Just horrible. It was a horrible thing that happened, so she felt horrified. Ugh. Yuck. To be horrified. You could also have a word with the same start as horrific. When Horrid Henry brought the mouse to school, it was horrific. And you could also have the word horrify, which is a Y at the end. Horrid Henry tried to horrify his teacher by bringing a mouse to school. So the word in the story is horrified. Okay. Next word, disaster. ER says R as in disasters. So a disaster. Something terrible that happens. What could be the disaster in the story? I can't wait to find out. Okay. Here's a magic E word like in your phonics. Without that E, it would be st-er-ick. Strick, but the magic E makes it a long vowel sound, so it's stir-ike. Strikes, strikes. Strikes. The clock strikes 12 twice a day. The forward strikes the ball. Strikes, to hit something. Ooh, what could that be in the story? Strikes. Something strikes. Attention. There's an ending, shun, T-I-O-N says shun as in attention. Okay? Standing to attention, you know what's going on. Paying attention in class. Again, you're taking in what's happening. Okay. You have the word, Y says E as at the end of a 2-syllable word, droopy. 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 Something is droopy. Oh, my plant, my herb plant in the kitchen is droopy because I forgot to water it. It's just falling down. It's not really, doesn't have any energy. It's droopy. It's just down, kind of, okay? Okay, droopy. Do you have any other sentences for droopy? Put the word droopy into sentence. Here's a word, whales. AI says A as in whale. Whale! It's like another word for a big shout. The baby, JJ, he wailed this morning, true story, when the Hoover made a really, really, really loud, horrible sound. JJ wailed. He cried really loudly. Okay? And then he started to weep. He was weeping, crying, weeping. Another word for crying. Here's a word in the story: panic. Panic. What does the word panic mean? How do you feel when you're in a panic? When would you be in a panic? Okay? Can you figure out that? Now, the word in the story, the last one, is the breath. Breath. Okay? And I always get really confused with this word, breath, and the word where there's an E at the end, breathe. To breathe. So to figure it out, breath with no E is the noun, the name of the thing you do. My breath. I could see my breath, the thing in the on the cold day. I could see my breath. To breathe is a doing thing. I am breathing. It is a thing I'm doing. Breathe is the one with the E. So breath is the thing, no E, the actual breath. And to breathe, the doing word, has the E at the end. Okay? Let's go read the story. Now, before you start reading the actual piece and finding out what's going on with these underpants, there's a little 3 lines of blue writing, which is like the blurb, which is telling us back what has happened already in the story, giving us a bit of information that we're missing, because this comes from a whole book, the Horrid Henry book. It's just a piece taken out of it, and we need some information to help us to understand this piece from what's happened already in the book. So I'm going to read the blurb, or that bit, for you, and it's got some of the new words in it, and they are highlighted bold, which is really handy. So here we go. Let's see, can we get more info about these underpants and Horrid Henry. Henry is horrified when his aunt sends him a pair of pink frilly girls' pants as a birthday present gift. Okay, that makes sense why there's pictures of girls' pants wrapped up. He hides them in a corner of his bedroom drawer. However, disaster strikes. It happened when he wears them to school by mistake. So now I have more information of what this may be about. It's about what happens at school when he wears the girls' pants by accident. Oh, okay. So read the story. Here is a little comprehension activity that you can do before you read, during your reading, and afterwards, and I'm going to show you now. We already know that Henry is after wearing his pair of girls' knickers underpants to school. So at this point in the story, how do you think that he feels? Like what kind of a character is he? I'm already guessing that he's not so horrid right now in this part of the story. I think he's more embarrassed. He's going to be embarrassed because he's wearing a pair of girls' pants. Another word for embarrassed is mortified. Kind of rubbed out a bit there. To be mortified, to be embarrassed. Okay, so right now, Horrid Henry is a character that's really embarrassed. Okay, so we could do a bit of a scale. Okay, and kind of just make from what we're reading, saying, well, he's very embarrassed, or he's a bit embarrassed, or he's not embarrassed at all. Okay. So I haven't even started reading, but from the blurb part, I would say that he is very embarrassed right now. So on the scale, on the line of embarrassment, he is here. Horrid Henry is here. He is very embarrassed. I am inferring this, big word for I am giving a good prediction guess, because it says the words disaster strikes. I mean, that is the worst thing that could possibly happen. So those words make it sound really, really bad. So he must be very embarrassed. Okay. So while you're reading this story, at different points, you could ask yourself, why? Where is he now on the embarrassed scale? Is he still very embarrassed? Maybe he's only a little bit embarrassed, or at some point he's not embarrassed anymore at all. So this is a bit of a rating scale of how embarrassed Henry's, and you can do it for any character about any trait. We'll be working on that a little bit more when we go back to school. So try that one. So if you've finished reading, you've done your scale, you can pop over to your activities and answer the recall questions: who, what, where, when, how. 5 of those. There's a prediction. Predict what was going to happen next. So after the ending, I'm not going to give it away. Okay. Then you have some vocabulary activities going by the new words. That's B and C and D. Okay. So complete A, B, C, D, and that's your reading and English work for this week on these 2 pages.